Yo, what's up guys? In this video I went solo as a fighter into the main dungeon with pretty low gear. Just a green longsword, a green helmet, and that's pretty much it. Make sure you pay roll for good luck if you want to have a successful run. Alright, so looks like we got ourselves a swamp starter in this run. Not my favourite place to spawn, but it is not the worst either, to be honest. If you spawn here, you just gotta be careful of those bugs. That poison has a pretty long duration when they get it on you. It's not so bad if you have a ranged weapon. And obviously these zombies can be quite irritating with their gas bombs. So yeah, not the nicest place to start. But we do get an explosion bottle. An uncommon one, which is nice. As a solo player, using this kind of utility and having it on hand is very useful. It allows you to take jewels a bit more effectively. Anything that you can use at the start of a fight and it makes the whole fight easier for you is super nice if you're playing solo. So like if you throw an explosion bottle on a wizard or a rogue or even a barbarian that's rushing you, you know, you're starting that fight at an advantage. Helps you take that first guy down. Sneaky little room in here where you can get yourself a nice chest. Don't really get anything too nice. I don't think this is the best place for loot really. It's more of a PvE kind of area. There's not too many chests down here. However, we do get some nice leggings from that zombie. Pretty nice drop. Just door into the main dungeon, but don't think we'll head in there just yet. Sticking to the swamp for now. Most of the loot you get down here is from just killing the If we give it a bit of time, you know, it's not the worst thing. If you're playing solo, I'd say either play on the edge of the circle or get straight into the center. If you play on the edge, it's kind of more of like a loot run and maybe catch like a squad that's fighting someone else, maybe in the back. But even then, you know, you're kind of at a disadvantage because you've got the ring behind you. But yeah, it can be good for loot runs for sure. If you're wanting to get in, get some stuff, maybe get a sneaky kill or two and then get out. It's not a bad way to play. Or if you go straight for the center, you can kind of get in the thick of it. A lot of the time you can third party if your positioning is good. And normally you get a considerable amount more loot. Of a bit of a higher value really. But again, it depends on your playstyle and the type of player you are. That's kind of what's great about this game, you can play any way you like. Sometimes it's nice just to go for a chill loot run. Sometimes it's funner to get right into the middle of it. Get yourselves a nice little trinket there. These statues do have little loot drops behind them. And most of the time I find bandages there. Up on the corner of that wall too. If you ever find a room like this. I like the little things that are placed around these rooms, it's nice. The loose loot locations. Get that bug with a jumping longsword attack. Get ourselves a green spellbook from that barrel with 2 magical healing. Wow, that is a nice little drop from a barrel. That'll sell to a cleric for a pretty penny right there. I'm telling you guys, you got to be checking those barrels. Especially if you're coming in with low gear, they are so good at getting upgrades to pretty much all of your equipment. They can drop weapons, they can drop armor, they can drop clothes. Pretty much anything you can imagine. Potions as well. It can take a bit of time if you're not a barbarian. So I can understand some people might be a bit bored with it or frustrated, but if you've got a little bit of time to spare and you're not in a rush, it's a nice way to scale up. Cheese these skeletons a little bit. At the end of the day, I think this is going to take a bit too long. And obviously you can throw your torches, guys, you know, down into these holes or into dark areas, just to give yourself some lighting. Just something I noticed recently, a little tip. If you are playing and you go into a room and there is no lighting, and there's like, you know, there's torches on the walls, or there's those little burners. If you see that they're off, there's a good chance someone turned them off, and there's a good chance there's a rogue hiding in that room. I actually had a run recently where I went into a very dark room and 2 rogues just jumped out and started shanking me from the sides. That's my mistake for going in there, but yeah, it's a little strategy rogues like to do, so be careful of that. Even though they're invisible, they like to hide in the darkness. Oh, we dispatch those skeletons, get back into the main dungeon. Another little loose loot bandage, we like those. It's time to head a bit deeper into the dungeon. Always want to stay one step ahead of the ring if you can, even if you are an edge player. When it starts closing in, it's always good to move forward a little bit. Because one problem with playing on the edge is that obviously portals tend to spawn more in the center. Maybe that's not the case, but from my experience it certainly feels that way. And here we find ourselves in a 1v2. It's like a ranger and a rogue. There's 1v3 I believe actually. Yep. Ranger down. Have to jump over the trap there. And the fighter walks into it. I'm sure he was not happy about that. Allows us to take him out nice and easy. The rogue does pushes, so we get a good headshot on him to push him back. That is the beauty of the longsword. That stab attack is super nice, having it as your first attack. We get a bit of healing off, get a potion of protection. Just gotta play this one a bit safe. He does go invisible. And we do have the explosion bottle, so I do throw that down. But I think I threw it a little bit short. A bit of a bad throw by me. And the reason I'm playing back here is because he could have had the perk where he can move around in invis. But just waiting for him to come out is a better idea for us. Chase him down, and eventually he decides to go for the kill, and then we get a quick stab on him. So yeah, not a bad fight. The ranger kind of screwed up there, or perhaps it was the fighter that screwed up. I'll let you guys decide who screwed up there. Was it the ranger's fault for placing the trap, or was it the fighter's fault for running into it afterwards? Yeah, it's nice to play around enemy traps if you can as well. A lot of the time they forget they're there if you're jumping over them and playing around them. Always know what's around you when you're fighting. Yeah, quite a nice 3v1 there. 1v3 I should say. Got a ranger, a fighter and a rogue. That's a good comp, I like that one. And they were packed full of loot. Fighter didn't have anything crazy. A couple of grains. Some trinkets on him too. And grab his trinkets. Take the plate instead of those gloves. In my opinion, it's just a little better. Get ourselves healed up. Check the other two. It's a good idea after a fight, just to get a little bit of information gathering before you start looting. A lot of the time, I don't know if you guys have friends like this, but sometimes, you know, you kill someone and your friends are already on top of them looting them. Or vice versa, you know. But yeah, it's good to get some information after you kill people before you loot them, because sometimes people hear the fighting, they hear the steps, they hear that fireball, or they hear something going off, and they start heading in your direction, so just listening out can be pretty useful after a fight. Because if you start looting and someone sneaks up on you, you're as good as dead. I think in hindsight, instead of healing, I probably should have used that Shrine of Health. Bit silly by me. And we do find ourselves in another 1v2 here. However, considering we're full of loot, and we don't know if there's a third, and they do have a superior position on us inside of the ring, I opt to leave this fight, look for a portal. Unfortunately, there is one right here, so definitely didn't look like a great fight for us. We don't have our second wind either, so much better just to get out if we can. Nothing to be gained there, and a lot to be lost. Yeah, that was a pretty successful run overall. We got ourselves a full inventory, a couple of nice items, a few gear upgrades, and yeah, we can sell that spellbook to a cleric for a good chunk too. So even after we've sold all of this for a very nice amount of gold, we're gonna make a hell of a lot more just from selling that spellbook. But yeah, that's pretty much the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. Take it easy.